working in the spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News at noon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maddie Jansen. A man is dead and a woman in the hospital after an officer-involved shooting this morning at a Delano hotel. And hotel guests were left stuck in the middle of the crime scene. This all happened just north of County Line Road. It started, however, in Rich Grove. Here's the scene right here where the OIS went down. It happened just after 2 a.m. According to Tulare County Sheriff's officials, officers spotted a suspect of a drive-by shooting that had happened in Rich Grove. Now, they spotted the suspect at this Best Western. That is when Delano police responded as backup. The hotel is in Delano. As they tried to contact the suspects, a Delano police officer and Tulare County Sheriff's deputy both opened fire. Officials have not said what exactly caused officers to discharge their weapons, but two suspects, a man and a woman, were hit. The man died. The woman was in surgery at last update this morning. Now, 17's Vanessa Dillon has been on scene this morning along with 17 News photographer Mickey Van Horn. They spoke to a couple who actually heard the shooting from their room last night. They declined to speak on camera, but they say it just happened steps away from where they were sleeping, adding that they heard the shots being fired from across the hallway. Now, because this is an officer-involved shooting, the Tulare County Sheriff's Department has requested the Porterville Police Department investigate. We are continuing to follow this for you. We'll have more updates coming up tonight on 17 News at 5. You can also follow along online at KGET.com and download our 17 News app to get the latest breaking news sent directly to your phone. Meantime, Bakersfield police are investigating the suspicious death of a man in East Bakersfield. Officers found the man around 10:30 last night at a home on Bright Shadow Lane. That's just off Kern Canyon Road. Very few details were released. The man died at the home. Police say it could have been due to a medical condition. That man was in his 40s. A stabbing in central Bakersfield sent a man to the hospital. The Kern County Sheriff's Office says someone stabbed a man in the chest. Investigators say he was found on East California Avenue. But the stabbing happened in the parking lot of the Bakersfield Lodge on Union. Paramedics took that man to the hospital with moderate to major injuries and no update on his condition today. Deputies have not arrested anyone but are questioning several people. BPD also investigating a crash in central Bakersfield that sent a man to the hospital. It happened around 9:30 last night on Chester Avenue near 10th Street. BPD says the man was not in a crosswalk when he tried to cross and was hit by a car. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital with major injuries. Officers say the driver stopped and is cooperating with the investigation. World news now. Tensions in the Persian Gulf region are rising after the U.S. released new footage showing what it claims is evidence that Iran was involved in an attack on two tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. NBC's Richard Engel reports from Istanbul.
The U.S. military released this surveillance footage, which American officials tell NBC News shows Iranian sailors removing an unexploded mine from the side of one of the tankers after it was attacked. The images, taken by air, seem to show the Iranians recovering some sort of device and then leaving. It could be proof that Iran was trying to hide its tracks. The Japanese owner of one of the tankers said his crew also spotted an Iranian naval vessel in the area just before the attacks began, although he said the kind of weapons used remains unclear. The crew is saying the tanker was hit by a flying object, the owner said. Secretary of State Pompeo didn't parse his words when blaming Iran for what he called unprovoked attacks.
It is the assessment of the United States government that the Islamic Republic of Iran is responsible for the attacks that occurred in the Gulf of Oman today.
The attacks were so serious, the tanker's crews had to abandon ship. About half were taken aboard the Navy's USS Bainbridge, which received a distress call. The others were taken to Iran. Iran denies any involvement in the attacks. The Iranian foreign minister in a tweet this morning suggesting Iran's enemies, including Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Israel, are trying to frame Iran. The question, of course, remaining is why? Why would Iran attack two unarmed commercial vessels in the Persian Gulf? Oil analysts we've been speaking to say that the Trump administration has increased sanctions on Iran so much that the Iranian economy is truly suffering, that Iran may have been backed into a corner and is now lashing out. Iran, of course, says it was not involved. Richard Engel, NBC News, Istanbul.
Back here at home, the new state budget is approved. Now it's just waiting for the governor to sign off. After months of negotiation, both the Assembly and Senate passed the spending plan for next year. The nearly $219 billion budget boosts funding for health care and education. Though the spending plan passed through both chambers easily, there are still some partisan and bipartisan concerns with the budget. Democrats are applauding it because it builds up state reserves, pays down debt, and provides more resources for CAL FIRE. Republicans are criticizing the expansion of state health care to undocumented immigrants, along with a tax on Californians who don't buy health insurance.
A political budget that I think is out of step with mainstream and middle-class Californians. I think sooner or later it's going to catch up on the Democrats.
Although the state will spend more on K-12 education, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle worry it's not enough. The legislature has just 24 hours to enact the new budget, or else will go without pay. Today, the nation celebrates Flag Day. It commemorates the day the American flag was adopted as the flag of our nation. Happening right now outside of the Kern County Heritage Commission. There's an annual ceremony at the Liberty Bell in downtown Bakersfield. The patriotic event will include a presentation of colors, special ringing of the Liberty Bell as a way to celebrate patriotism here in Kern County. 17 Health Watch now. Actress Jessica Biel's defending herself following a surprise appearance at the state capitol in California to lobby against a bill that would limit exemptions to mandatory vaccinations. NBC's Stephanie Gosk has more.
It all started with this post on social media. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., an outspoken anti-vaccination activist, seen here with actress Jessica Biel at the state capitol in Sacramento Tuesday. Kennedy thanking Biel for a busy and productive day at the California State House. The unlikely pair lobbied members of the state assembly to reconsider Senate Bill 276. If passed, the bill would make it more difficult for doctors to grant exemptions to California's immunization requirements, giving the state greater oversight. Online, near instant backlash against 37-year-old Biel. The actress is mom to 4-year-old son Silas, with husband pop superstar Justin Timberlake.
What you have to do for your kid, it's an amazing responsibility and the biggest joy ever.
Biel now responding to those calling her an anti-vaxxer on her social media account, writing, "I'm not against vaccinations. I support children getting vaccinations, and I also support families having the right to make educated medical decisions for their children alongside their physicians. My dearest friends have a child with a medical condition that warrants an exemption from vaccinations, and should this bill pass, it would greatly affect their family's ability to care for their child in this state. I believe in giving doctors and the families they treat the ability to decide what's best for their patients and the ability to provide that treatment." California currently requires childhood immunizations in order to attend public and private schools. But recent questions about whether doctors are doing so too frequently and for profit is the driving force behind the bill.
We know that there, unfortunately, are physicians who are basically selling inappropriate medical exemptions.
Under the new law, the California Department of Public Health would decide whether certain underlying conditions meet CDC guidelines before allowing those exemptions.
We need to be sure medical exemptions are there for kids who really need them.
It's a public health debate with far-reaching consequences, stretching from Sacramento to Hollywood and beyond.
There is still a long road ahead before this reaches the governor's desk. SB 276 was passed by the state Senate last month. It will be heard by the Assembly Health Committee next month and 2 more committees after that. This is certainly a hot button topic. The CDC very clearly states that vaccinations do not cause autism. In other health news this afternoon, Congress is considering taking action to keep kids safe from something extremely common and potentially deadly. A House Commerce subcommittee heard testimony on a variety of topics, all geared toward keeping kids and consumers safe from dangerous products. At issue, whether or not the Consumer Product Safety Commission is doing enough to get deadly products off store shelves. Congress is considering several bills, including the STURDY Act, or Stop Tip-overs of unstable, risky dressers on youth. That would create mandatory safety standards for freestanding furniture. The mandatory standard would include specific testing criteria to ensure adequate protection, as well as stronger warning requirements. Members of Parents Against Tip-overs were present to be a voice for children who've lost their lives in such accidents. Crystal Ellis, whose son was killed in a tip-over accident, spoke before the committee.
I strongly feel the manufacturers are not afraid of repercussions from the CPSC. Between their small budget and their hands being tied by the limitations from Section 6B of the Consumer Product Safety Act, The manufacturers know they have time to stall, time that will result in more deaths of children.
Ellis points out that dressers are at all price points can kill children. Very expensive and very cheap furniture. Research shows that each year more than 25,000 children are victims of furniture tip-over accidents. Well, Houchin Blood Bank's calling on gamers to step away from the TV or computer screen just long enough to donate blood. Today is World Blood Donor Day. Houchin's reaching out to younger potential donors in an effort to boost its supplies. The bank has partnered with Team Liquid, a professional esports organization. Anyone who donates at either Houchin Blood Bank today will get a limited edition Team Liquid Turns Red t-shirt. Then tomorrow, a special Father's Day treat. Anyone who donates at the Houchin Bolt House location will get a free sandwich from Uncle's Barbecue. All month long, when you donate blood, you'll be entered to win a Disney vacation for 4 people and weekly cash prize giveaways. And we're back in your 17 Business Watch this afternoon to finish out the work week. The Dow is up about 25 points so far in trading. The NASDAQ down 22. The S&P 500 down just a fraction. And we will have a check of your final numbers from Wall Street coming up tonight at 5. Oil prices, West Texas Intermediate is up today, $52.56 a barrel at last check. Midway Sunset started the day at $58.78 a barrel. The maker of an all-purpose flour has issued a voluntary product recall. ADM Milling Company, which makes King Arthur flour, has voluntarily recalled more than 110,000 5-pounds of bags of unbleached all-purpose flour. That's because of the potential presence of E. coli bacteria from a certain wheat used in the product. No illnesses have been reported related to the flour. There are 6 specific lot numbers in the recall, 3 different use-by dates, December 7th, 8th, and 14th of this year. Consumers with the packages should throw them out or return them to where they got them for a refund or credit. For the second time in 5 weeks, airline prices are going up. American Airlines has raised ticket prices by $5 on one-way domestic flights. That's according to an expert at J.P. Morgan Chase who tracks airline fares. The increases come even as jet fuel prices have decreased since May. Southwest Airlines has also increased fares as much as $15 on some one-way fares. Experts say the increases are due in part to strong demand as the summer travel season heats up. Father's Day is this Sunday. If you're still looking for the perfect gift, Liz McLaughlin shows us some of the top gadgets he's sure to love.
For the techie dad, a gadget to keep his other gadgets charged could come in handy. The base station hub from Nomad can keep dad connected this Father's Day.
It's $100. It's got a cool leather surface right here on it, and you put one phone down, 2 phones, put a phone sideways.
For the traveler, a smart wallet from Exter can make sure his money stays safe with RFID protection, tracking, and power. For the music lover, the JBL Clip is a popular Bluetooth speaker at a budget-friendly $40.
You can have this by the pool, in the backyard, in the den, and it's reasonably loud for what it is.
If dad needs wireless headphones, Anker's Soundcore Liberty is about half the price of Apple's AirPods.
They are not as good as AirPods if you have an Apple device, but they're pretty darn good, and they're $79.
For the foodie, the Meter Plus smart thermometer can make sure everything on the grill is cooked to perfection. For the kid at heart,
oh yes!
Gift games on the go with the Game Vice controller, which snaps onto a smartphone to make a portable console. Or he can play at home with the new Xbox One S All-Digital Edition.
It does not have an optical drive inside. It's purely for digital downloads. It's got a big 1 terabyte hard drive inside.
Then you can both play on Father's Day. Just be sure to let him win. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
He's already winning, right? He's a dad. Many of those gadgets or dadgets are available at retail stores like Best Buy or Amazon Prime with free 1-day shipping. Exter, the company that makes the smart wallet, is also offering free shipping in time for Father's Day. Just get to it about now. Well, by the way, we are compiling a list of deals for dear old dad this weekend. You can find that on our website, kget.com. Just click on the hot link icon.